What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Dear Jon Q&A right here on ARTV. So for the future upcoming episode of Dear Jon, I am going to be doing a full-fledged Q&A. I'm talking anything you want to ask me, leave it in the comment section down below. So Dear Jon normally obviously focuses on one big question, and if you still want to leave that, it could end up being a future video. But for now, just fire away in the comment section down below. Let me know what you want me to answer, and the next Dear Jon will be me answering lots and lots of questions. But today, we have a very cool question, one that really piqued my interest, and I thought to myself, this needs to be an episode of Dear Jon for sure. So the New York Times recently conducted a study where they say that due to all of their analyzing and all of their data and everything like that, our musical taste peaks as teenagers. The article was originally titled The Songs That Bind. It was published in the Sunday edition of the New York Times on February 10th of 2018. And it was a very interesting study because right away almost they let you in on the fact that it says that men normally find their favorite song average around age 14 and on average for women around age 13, so just slightly younger. And the question was, do I agree with this? Do you think that this is accurate? Do you hold true and tightly to the music of your teenage years? And do you get blinded by nostalgia, or do you genuinely just love that music the most? And just from asking a few people and knowing myself in general, I have to say that this doesn't surprise me at all. I 110% agree. I think that the formative years during your teenage years is something that is oh so important. And during their research, they showed that, for example, people who were born in the 80s maybe got into Radiohead's Creep around age 13 or 14. And now, those people being in their late 30s, it's among the most popular listened to songs on Spotify. And obviously, this data isn't to a T, to an exact science. There's always going to be people who feel differently. And obviously, our music tastes change a whole lot over time. We evolve them, we grow them, but at the center of it all, is it not true that we have a soft spot for that music? And I have to say yes. Even if it hasn't hit you yet, it's coming. Some people have waves of nostalgia that come on earlier, and it's much easier to get lost in nostalgia these days because it's made so easy by social media. You can look to something like Facebook or Time Hop reminding you of things when you posted that, when you shared this song, etc., etc. And looking back on it, we can see the music that we were so overwhelmed with at a certain time. I can go back, I did an entire video on my old MySpace profile songs, and that was during my formative years. I had MySpace from maybe age 14 up until I was 18. So it's really cool to have that tool to be able to look back now. Crunching the numbers and analyzing all this data is definitely hard to take in because you look at all of the scales that they have in the articles and showing certain songs and when they hit and when they were popular and how old these people are now and the fact that it's still among the most popular songs during that demographic. It's a lot to take in, but if you look at it and just think to yourself, okay, if I'm older now, at least probably 18 years old, look back at what your favorite songs were when you were 11, 12, 13. And on average, it's saying that for women, most are 13, men are 14 when they find their favorite song and their favorite music in general. Think back, even especially if you're older, I would love to hear from you on this, because I myself being 26, I look back so fondly on the music of my youth. Around 13 is right on the head. 13 to 14 is exactly when I formed my own opinion and taste in music. Before that, I had just listened to what my parents gave me, but I think something around that time, just instinct takes over and you start deciding, what do I want to hear? What sounds good to my ear? And then you seek out people who like things that have similar taste, or maybe you just get lucky like I did and you had friends that were blasting Green Day's American Idiot and Meteora while you went out to skate. Green Day, Linkin Park, 3 Days Grace steamrolled into Queens of the Stone Age, Weezer, and the White Stripes, and it just kept going on. And if you look at my top 10 favorite bands video, look at how many of those bands came out of either that time or had popular music that came out between 2005, 2006 when I was 13 to 14 years old. It pretty much holds true to a T. My top 10 favorite bands are all bands that I got into during that time period. Now granted, obviously I have my modern favorites. I have bands that I love a lot these days, but Are they ever going to pass those bands? Am I ever going to hear something that sounds better to my ear and reminds me of a better time? I don't think so, honestly. I personally hold to the fact that this is the most formative time in music. It does form your taste in music, and to this day, while I still love many different genres of music, I hold to my alternative roots. Alternative and rock is what I was raised on because it is what I found first. And my favorite song of all time, Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day, was realized at age 13. So I have to say that this data to me seems pretty scarily accurate.
But Jon, I've matured. I've moved so far past the music of my middle school and high school days that I can't even be bothered with it. I don't listen to that childish nonsense anymore.
Suck up the pride. Let it go. It's okay to sometimes admit that maybe you love the music of your youth. Maybe you find it a bit cheesy. Maybe it's a bit outlandish. Maybe it's a bit outdated. But damn, own it. You're from that generation. You're from this time. And maybe that was your favorite song. Maybe it helped you get through so much stuff. Even if it's a silly song, even if it's a fun song, upbeat, danceable, whatever. That song shaped you in some way, and you should never have to be ashamed of that. It doesn't matter if you still love all of that music now or not. At least be able to look back and don't let yourself get blinded by people saying, wow, that's so outdated, your taste in music is whack. Because guess what? The people that are saying that, they came from the exact same places. They are human too, and at one time, maybe they loved a Linkin Park song that they now find cringy. I say own it, channel it, and make it work for yourself, and share it with others if you're still passionate about it. Love new music, love old music, love whatever you want to love. I am curious though, what does everyone else think? Do you think that this report is accurate? I do think that they got it pretty spot on here. Obviously, they can't analyze every single person's listening habits or anything like that, but pulling as much data as they did, and it's the New York Times, obviously this isn't just some little outlet doing a mild little research article. This is the big leagues here, people. This is something that was a real poll and really conducted. So I think it's pretty interesting that they actually took the time to do that and conduct this video and the research and everything like that, and now I'm able to make a video talking about my thoughts on it. So I think it's accurate. What do you guys think? Sound off down below. Don't forget that the next episode of the Dear Jon Q&A, that is going to be a free-for-all. Ask me anything in the comments section. So I know that this video is going to blow up with comments now, but yeah, if you want to talk about this topic, then hit me up on Twitter or in the comments. I'll try to find some of them. Thanks for watching this episode of the Dear Jon Q&A. Thank you, Sophia, for the question. Don't forget to drop a like on this video and let me know what you think in the comments section down below. If you're able to support me on Patreon, it's this annotation in the corner of the screen there, or you can see the last episode right over here. Another recent review here, socials in the description, and I'll see you soon on ARTV.